welcome to my craft room. Thanks for tuning in, everyone who's here live and everyone who watches on playback later. Today, as I showed in my event, I'm going to be featuring a couple of cards using the Snowflake Showcase stamp set. This one is Snow is Glistening. Just bear with me a minute while I get my iPad up to date. Yeah, here we go. The Snow is Glistening snow stamp pad. There you are, I'm up and running. Hi Chrissy, thanks for watching. The Snow is Glistening stamp pad, as I said. Really love this one. It's got some nice sort of snow themes and some snowflakes. Probably not really appropriate for here in Australia, but who doesn't like a nice Christmas tree and some little bits and pieces there. So the two cards I have on my on the event are two that I prepared for this one. This one here in a blue with silver, and this one with the Merry Merlot and the gold. And so looking at both of those today, oh thanks for sharing, Chrissy. Looking at those today, I thought they were both fairly dark and austere, so I thought just as a bit of a spontaneous I would try something with the Christmas tree that it was a little bit more bright, a little bit more contemporary. So before I get to those, which I will, I thought I'd have a bit of a fiddle with my Stamparatus and the Christmas tree stamp, which I have in there, and show you a nice technique at the same time, using some nice bright colours. So anyway, here we go. So obviously, as I said, here's my Stamparatus, and I'll just fix my piece of paper in place. So this one's going to have lots of different colours in sort of a gradient going up and down the Christmas tree, so it should look quite nice. So put our magnets in place now. At the moment, hi Wendy, thanks for coming along. If you could share my video, that'd be great. Anyway, so I've got a probably 3 7/8 by 5 1/4 inch piece of Whisper White cardstock here. I'm just going to position my Christmas tree so it's a little bit more to the top of that page. I am sideways here. You'll understand why very shortly. I'm going to put that there. So just while I've got everyone, hi Angie, thanks for sharing. While I've got everyone here, your captive attention, I'll just share a deal I have going at the moment. If you buy a Stamparatus online with me to the end of December, I will give you some of the really useful small grid paper, recommended retail price of $10.25, absolutely free as a thank you gift. So if you're watching this later and you think you want the Stamparatus, then by all means order with me. Hey Sherry, thanks for popping on. Oh, hi Michelle. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is, if you can, I'll move over a little bit. What I'm going to do is using this is Berry Burst. No, Melon Mambo. No, that's not what I want. Excuse me, I've got the wrong one out of my, I want Berry Burst. Ah, you Berry Burst. Here we go. Berry Burst. Oh, that was close. Too busy talking and not paying attention. Oh, okay, so a different dauber. So with a dauber and my Berry Burst, I'm going to just ink up the bottom third or so of my little Christmas tree. And then using the Stamparatus, I will stamp that. Now, as we all know, the good thing about the Stamparatus is that if you don't think you've got it quite right, you can go back in for another go and be pretty comfortable that you're going to get it in the right spot. So I'll give that another bit at the bottom. I want it sort of nice and defined at the bottom of our little Christmas tree. So give that another go. So that's good. So that's Berry Burst. And this one is going to go everywhere on me. Nothing worse than Berry Burst on your fingers. You look like you've been caught red-handed. Well, I do. Then I'll transition into, see, I've got it there already. I'm going to get it everywhere. Just forgive me for a minute. I'll get a wipe before I get beautiful ink everywhere. It's beautiful, but it belongs in its one spot. Hey Nicole, thanks for dropping in. This is what I do with my Fridays, as you can see. So that was that one. I'm going to use Highland Heather next. So I'll get another dauber, get some Highland Heather, and I'm going to do the same thing a little bit further up my tree. So if you share my video, the only one who gets Berry Burst all over the place, you know, I'm sure we're not, Michelle. You and I probably qualify as, I'm going to say messy, but that's not a right way. We're creative in our mess making. So that's the Highland Heather there. So I'll just grab that there. I might give that a little bit more of a go. I love that Highland Heather. I know we always say it, but we have our favourite colours, don't we? It seems to be my favourite colour is whatever I'm using at the time. Yeah. So, a little bit more of the Highland Heather. Yep, that's good. You guys see that there? And at the very top, I'm going to have this is Coastal Cabana. And another dauber. And at the very top, just moving things around a little bit, at the very top I'm going to put the Coastal Cabana. Forgive me, the whole desk moves as the inky fingers of actually I was you know, when we put a team together, when I've got my wonderful ladies that joined my little team down here, I did actually think Inky Fingers would be a good name for it, because I do seem to get terribly inky, but there was one already, strangely enough, so someone had beaten us to it. So we ended up being the Chatty Stampers instead, which I really love. Oh, Chrissy, yes, I just saw. Did you put a picture? You put a picture on Facebook with her. She gave you her first smile, or was it a burp? Probably a combination of the both. She looked glorious. I do love them at that age. She says with teenagers, you love any age other than teenagers. Anyway. Okay, so that's the three colours. So do you guys like that? I think that's quite special. Quite nice indeed. So I'll just clean off my stamp. And then just for something a little bit extra special on that one, I'm going to, it was a smile, yeah. Cherish it. Now I'm lucky to get a grunt. Mine are a bit older than that. A lot older than that. Probably if Nicole's still on, we probably understand each other with the grunts we get from our teenagers. So I've just, hi Donna, I've just done the same. I've inked up my Christmas tree with the Versamark ink. You guys, look what I nearly forgot. Anyway, put that on my embossing buddy. Ink up again. That was nearly wrong, wasn't it? Okay, so there's my Versamark, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat emboss with clear on this one. I'll get rid of my, temporarily get rid of my nice piece of spare card. Oh, everything's falling over. Girls are no different. Do they grunt as well? Oh, well, I've got a niece who's, yeah, she's a lot more articulate than my boys. But anyway, she's an only child. I think sometimes only children are quite verbal as well. Anyway, so some clear on there. And I'm going to bring in my heat embosser, so forgive the noise for a second. It is a cute tree. Michelle, did you get this one? She says, talking over the noise of the heat embosser. I think I did see you do something with this stamp, didn't I? Here we go, about to turn. Best thing in the world when it starts to turn clear. I just love the colours. They get so deep and dark and yeah, intense. Am I going the wrong way? I think I'm going the right way to stay in the camera, and I'm going the opposite way. There we go. There we go. So I've got some lovely deep intense colours there. So now you could do whatever you wanted with that little image, I suppose. You could, what I thought I might do is get the berry burst, because they've given us a little trunk here. So I thought with the berry burst, which is the bottom colour, just grab a random pad. Berry burst everywhere. Give it a little halfway trunk. Yeah, just here. Ta-da! And then, actually, I have to admit that the verses in here, I suppose the For You is all right. The Joy is nice, but it's a bit bulky. The verses in here don't really turn me on all that much, so what I thought I might put here is the, where is she? The Dashing Deer. Where are you there? What I thought I'd do is use the Happiest Christmas Wish from the Dashing Deer. And just even that up. And I thought I would just do that in Highland Heather. Oh, Call Me Clover. Oh yeah, Call Me Clover. That would be nice too. That's more of a, yes, I like that. That's like a real Christmas tree colour, like an actual Christmas tree. I like that. That's a good idea, Michelle. Might try that. Anyway, so I'll pop, if I've left enough room, pop it the right way, might be good, or we're very short. Okay, so pop the sentiment there. Cool, a bit of a smudge, that's all right, it's just for the video. And then I thought, we're using the colours we've already used, I would use the Coastal Cabana layer there, and then the base card in Highland Heather. So that's my little card there. Obviously I'll score it. So what do we think of that one? I won't finish that off since I've smudged the sentiment. I'll make that one again. But anyway, here is one I prepared earlier. As you can see, I used the Coastal Cabana, the Highland Heather. I used some little enamel dots to give the tree some little baubles. I haven't done the inside yet, but I will before I use it. Yeah, I think that's really, really nice. Something a little bit more funky than the other two cards that I've made for today. There you go, funky. Thanks, Michelle. So that's card number 1 for today. Okay, so the next one I think I'll do is this one in the blue. This is quite stunning, I think, personally. I know my husband quite liked it. I think this one will actually be winging its way to his parents, my parents-in-law, for Christmas, which is saying something because he doesn't usually like my cards that much. Well, you know. Anyway, so I thought I'd do this one. This is actually a reverse gate card, they call this one, after investigating them on Pinterest when I saw the first one. It's a reverse gate card because I suppose the usual gate cards are this way, sort of opening up like a gate that way. So this is a reverse one, and I really like it because the central image, it really emphasises it, you know, makes it stand out and really makes it the main feature of the card. So this is Night of Navy and silver, obviously, very much, lots of silver. So we'll start that one. So I have actually cut everything first. So the measurements I use for my gate cards are the same on the horizontal axis, so the same cuts and scores this way. It's just how tall you make them as to, you know, the different sizes of the cards. I'm thinking actually this would be a good one for our challenge because it's a 12-inch by, well, this one's 4 inches here, so I might use one of these for our latest team challenge, guys. Whatever, you reckon? So anyway, as I say, the difference between the two is just basically the depth of the width of the card, not the length. So we have, it's actually an 11-inch piece of cardstock, and it is scored at 2 3/4 and 4 1/8 inch from either end. So it's 2 3/4, 4 1/8, and then I turn it around because the maths is too hard, and do another 2 3/4 and a 4 1/8 from that side. So it's the same here with this one. So, and that basically folds like this to give you our basic card form. So it's a sort of like a, what we call it, a bendy C, something like that. So basically that's your fold there. So the front panel, is, I've got to remember now, so the front panel is, the first one is a sheet of silver foil, and that is cut to, and I have to remind myself, that is cut to 3 3/4 by 5 exactly. So it just sort of steps in a little bit down from the width of the base. And then the next one is that 1/8 of an inch less. So that is 4 7/8 by 3 5/8. But these measurements are all on my blog. If you guys want to follow the link there, the measurements to these cards are there. So we've got our base, we've got our front panel, we've also got some side panels. So 2 side panels of, again, silver with a slightly smaller panels of Night of Navy. If I just put those all on there, you'll see that's the basic configuration of the card. So I'll start decorating. Put those aside. So obviously I've got the Christmas tree, which is still in here. Got the Christmas tree here. it's silver embossing this time. So I'll pop the card in here, secure it with my magnets. Okay, position the Christmas tree in the right spot. Get it as central as I possibly can and as straight. Okay. Oops. Oh, yeah, okay. Embossing buddy again. Okay, so I'll use my embossing buddy now. Now don't worry too much if your embossing buddy leaves a bit of a talcum powder sort of stain on the dark cardstock, because you can actually just, after you've finished embossing, give it a wipe with a tissue or a dry wipe or something like that, and most of the whiteness comes out. So back with our Versamark ink onto our stamp. To our paper. Just see that it was a little bit lighter in the middle there. I might just pop a little bit more on that central part. That's better. This time I want the silver, here we go. Got bits going all over the place here. So I'll get my card. One of the neighbours has started their whippersnipper outside. Hopefully it's not too loud. Okay. Get that little bit off the top there. And forgive the noise, getting my embossing tool out again. And there she goes. I think the silver is probably the most striking when it turns. It's just really wow. It sort of moves from that galvanised grey to the bright silver, which is lovely. There we go. So I think on the dark, oh, there's a little bit left there. On the dark blue, that's quite striking. It's taking a little bit longer than I thought it should. There we go. Okay. So there we are. Just get rid of that. Oh. Okay. So that's got, I might, cool. So I'll mount that. Got powder everywhere. So I'll mount that with some Tombow. use a nice lot of glue when you heat emboss because it curls, as we know. So let it slide around a little bit before it takes. Oh, it's a bit up and down. I might take this opportunity just to use a dry wipe just to get rid of some of that white from there, from the embossing buddy, and I might smooth those edges down at the same time with the same thing. Okay, so there we are, that's our first panel. Now I'll pop that aside for the minute. So we've got our two side panels here, so silver and blue. And so for these, I've actually used the beautiful spray of whatever you, so I suppose it's a spray of snowflakes from the Snowfall Thinlits die set. This is the one that goes, it's also with the Snowflake Showcase special release. We've got nice big snowflakes, but for other times of year we've got flowers, we've got some leaves and some sprigs. So really it's a general all-round sort of die set, which actually goes really nicely with the stamp set because the snowflakes correspond with the sizes there. So it's really lovely complement. But it also complements the other stamp set that is in this limited edition release, and I'll show you something with that shortly. But that's the Happiness Surrounds that actually also corresponds with the dies in this pack. So you basically have the one die set that goes with two stamp sets, which is really good. It's really really economical. Anyway, so pop that aside. So as we know, silver and gold foil are precious. So what I thought I might do is, since we're going to have this over there, I might use behind to actually cut my dies, because we're not going to see that, it's going to be covered. So it won't matter if there's a sort of a hole there. So I'll just go and get my, bear with me, and I will cut them out with my die cutting, my Big Shot. So as long as I don't go too close to the edge, we'll be right, because you won't see it. There's the first one. Just get that out there. Get the bits out. There we are. There's the first one. And I'll just do the second one. There we go. Eek, where'd I put it? Oh, over here. Okay, so this is a beautiful spray. It's on a lovely stem type thing, but we've got the sort of, it's a combination actually. It's flowers and snowflakes. But I have seen it. Michelle, you did one, didn't you? You did one where you actually put flowers over the top of the snowflakes, so it could be used for a floral spring card, which is really nice. Hey Crystal, thanks for coming along and joining us. I went and had my hair done today. Donna's still with us. Donna, I've got my roots done, so I I'm not too worried. I didn't actually do a chat beforehand today because I knew I wanted to get the 3 cards done. So yes, but you'll get to see me at the end. I will turn the camera around then. Just the same, except I haven't got my tinsel in my roots. Okay, so as I say, we've got our panels here to go over our silver background. So those panels are, and I have to remind myself, they are, the silver are 2.5 inches by 5 inches, and the Night of Navy is 1/8 of an inch smaller, so 3 7/8 by, what's that, 2 3/8. Yeah, 2 3/8. Okay, so I'll just attach those to there. So I'm going to cover over the where I've taken the images from. Actually, I'll put it on here. Put the glue on the blue. There we go. And there. A bit too much glue. Ah! Glue slob. That's alright. And same thing here. Okay, so if anyone watching on the replay or live is interested in joining my team, which I've already mentioned is called the Chatty Stampers because Inky Fingers was already taken, we have, it's a great deal. You get $235 worth of product. You can pick just your own product, and you pay $169 with free shipping. So just in itself, that is a really good deal. But while you remain an active demonstrator, you also receive an ongoing 20% discount. So if you're planning on placing an order and you think you're probably going to spend more than $169, then this is a really excellent way, an excellent value. And depending on when you join, you can have between 6 months and 3 months, or 3 months and 6 months, to actually sell your required minimum amount and maintain your active demonstrator. I've probably made that sound very complicated, but all I'm saying is it's a very good deal, even just for that first initial outlay. And if you're interested, just drop me a line. Okay, so we've got our 2 panels here. So what I actually did with the panels was on this side, I've angled the little spray so it's outwards, and then on the other side also outwards, so that it's got a nice angle to it. It goes diagonally across the panel like that. So I'll just attach those. Little bit of glue. Yes, it's lovely cut on the silver, I think, Michelle. Actually, I just love silver. Silver and gold. If in doubt, add gold. Okay. There we go. I should be using my dry one. Where's my dry one? There. A dry one just to pat it down. And then the other one, just dabbing it with glue in places. If we were, I'd probably be quite careful with it if I was giving it to someone. And that one goes there like that. Excellent. Cool. You're a silver rather than a gold girl, yeah. I must say I do love it on on the sort of the dark colours. I actually traumatised about this other one I'm doing, the one with the snowflakes, the smaller one. I don't know if I overly like it too much. It's actually a bit dull. That's why I sort of thought about the first tree. Okay, the first card I did rather than the two that I had on my event. Okay, so we've got our 2 panels there. And we'll attach those. If the glue comes out, oh, in a drip. And here we go. Glue. I've got one panel on one side, so attach that evenly. There we go, and then the other. There we go. Okay, so we've got our 2 sides panels and now our front panel. So basically what you do now is you glue up just this central panel that folds up, and we can attach our central panel like this. And try and get it as central as I possibly can, and lining up the edges of our silver. So that obviously has to come over a little bit, and I line up the silver so it looks like an uninterrupted line when the card is closed, like that. Cool. So that's that one there. That's panels on. Flatten it out. And so on this one I actually also added some snowflakes around there, but I wasn't overly sure that I liked that. I think it was a bit much, but I've got to admit that I only put those 2 on there because I'd actually I'd ripped the paper a little bit when I tried to put an embellishment on there. So that was just one of our famous cover-ups, but I think I actually prefer it without the snowflakes, but you can add them if you want. But I do really love the crystals. Just forgive me, I've left them up here. Here we go. So these little jewels are the frosted and clear epoxy droplets that are also in our holiday catalogue. And you can place them, I think I've just used the small one, stuff everywhere here, the small ones just decorating the snowflakes from the Christmas tree. So we've got some pretty little daubs happening there and there. So I've just taken them, and then I've used a big one for our star at the top of the tree. So I'll just continue with those on there. And so also with this card, you need somewhere to write to your lucky recipient. I'll just use a panel of Whisper White in that central little central fold in there, and you can stamp it or not, and that's where you can write your greeting at Christmas time. So there, in there. Excellent. Okay, so that's that card there. So that's a reverse gate card using the Snow is Glistening stamp set and silver embossing and the frosted droplets. It's quite nice, I like that one. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one, which I probably won't spend too much time on because we're going quite long for me, is the second card here is the same design. It's a reverse gate card. As I say, the same measurements on the horizontal, but it's actually just 4 1/8 inch wide, and then the sizes are graduated down. So for this one I've actually used the Snow is Glistening stamp set, but I've used this beautiful sort of curtain of snowflakes that we have here. Again, I have my Big Shot, and the great thing with the Stamparatus is that I can leave that one on there and swap to this one where I've already got my stamps attached in the right place. So again, we have a 11 inch by, in this case, 4 1/8 inch, and it's scored at 2 3/4 and 4 1/8 from both edges. So you get the gate there. Okay. And in this one, I've actually used gold. This is Merry Merlot, another wonderful Christmas colour. So this is Merry Merlot cardstock. And we have the panels in gold. So I've done the same trick there. I've used the gold to make my frame for my sentiment. So we've got gold and Merry Merlot, which is quite stunning. So I've already embossed these. So I've actually got the snowflakes coming down from the top, and then these sort of dots at the bottom. So I've embossed those in gold. So I'll just have to emboss this top one now. Hence my Stamparatus is all set. So I'll pop that in there. So this is another thing where the Stamparatus actually shines, because this is actually, obviously you can see it's wider, so we can actually move our move the lid of the Stamparatus along and produce a continuous uninterrupted line of stamps. So I have to get that in the right place for the start. Which is there. Tricky because the magnets get in the way of this one, so I actually have to go magnetless. Embossing buddy. Again, that whiteness we can take off later. Put that in the right spot. Versamark ink. So as you can see, I've got the curtain of snow coming from down the bottom with the little dots coming from, sorry, the curtain coming from the top and the dots at the bottom. I'll stamp that there. And then reposition, move it along, which is great. Don't even miss a step. Versamark ink again, go down, and there we are. And you can see the value of our paper there, because otherwise I would be getting Versamark ink on my Stamparatus itself. The paper actually collects that for us, which is great. So that's stamped. And this time we're using gold. Gold, gold, gold. Where are you, gold? Here we go. know, Michelle, I made this one, and I know I said I was going to make it, but I don't think I like it as much as the blue and the silver. It's probably depend on who you're giving it to. This might be a nice one for a, I don't know, a grandmother or grandparents or an elderly aunt, or I suppose, yeah, I suppose it's just a personal preference, but I use so much blue. I think I've gone through so many blue Night of Navy packets, more than anything that I ever use. Blue is my colour. I was just trying to get away from blue a little bit. Okay, so that looks okay. Here comes the noise again. Yeah, striking's probably a good word for it, actually, I suppose, yes. Here we go. Out, burning fingers. Yeah, look at that, that's beautiful. There we go, what do we think of that? I think I've got it all. Yep. Just put this back in here before I go any further. Okay, so, excuse me, I'm just going to get the gold and the leftovers of my silver off that. Here we go. Okay, so we've got our gold, should be up that way, our central panel. We've got here, go there, oh, actually here. There we are. So, and then what I've actually done, what I've done here is I've got my sentiment actually on a piece of vellum, and that's been stamped and also embossed in clear. Yes, it was clear. So this one, this little frame, I've actually used the layered ovals, and I just picked 2 ovals that were, oh, magnets are stuck everywhere. Just picked 2 ovals that were like 2 sizes apart. One, the smaller one for the inside. You basically just have a little bit of a play. So that's the one I've used for the inside. And picked 2 sizes up. That's the one I've used for the outside. So you can see there's a nice gap between those two. So just die cut the large one first, and then position the little one inside and die cut that as well, so you get a lovely frame there. Okay, put those aside. Oh, what did I drop? Oh, we'll see. Okay, so the sentiment I've used here, as I say, I've stamped that in Merry Merlot on a piece of vellum. So I've used Merry Christmas to you and Peace on Earth to the World. It's fairly aspirational at Christmas time. Won't get too political about that. So we'll just do that. And I've done that in Merry Merlot. Yeah. Gosh, if you could see my desk, it's got so messy now. Was clean before. Okay, so we just stamp that one just anywhere there, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to cut it out. Now, my way of thinking, that is quite dull in a way, and the on the vellum the ink tends to sort of drip, not drip, but sort of it gets into sort of blobs. So what I did was just get some clear embossing powder and just sprinkle that on. And then just emboss that. Must have been my embossing day. It seemed like I wanted to emboss everything, heat emboss everything. And as you can see, it goes from sort of a dull version of itself to a really nice, bright, vibrant version of itself. There we go. That's nice and shiny. Put that back in there. I think that's my last embossing for this session. So then just basically, as long as I cut it not too big and not too small, you can see I can cut it there. I might actually just, quicker than using the big shot, just drag that and then get some scissors. Now I'll just cut that just inside that pen mark. Just like that. And get some trusty Tombow and put it very, 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 very finely, because it's going to go everywhere otherwise. It's very slender space. Get our little frame. And put that central there. Okay, so that's quite cute. I think it's just something a little bit different. Something a little bit, yeah, special. Special. Okay. So we've got our sentiment, got all our panels. I'll just assemble this one now, just quickly. Where might I go here? Okay, that's there. That's the top panel. Just move it around a little bit. This one. Oh, it is a bit yucky there. I'll give that a clean up a bit. I find, I don't know about everyone else, and I don't know whether it's me, but if you finger this gold embossing too much, it loses its shine, so or becomes a bit dull. So I try not to touch it as much as I possibly can once it's in there. I didn't seem to notice it with the silver, but the gold does seem to lose its luster if you play with it a little bit. Oh, hi Stephanie, thanks for joining us. I've nearly finished this last card, but I'm happy for you to watch it on playback later. And this one as well. There we go. Bit vicious there, I've moved it offline. That one there. Where's my last one? Last one. Hey, where are you? Oh, there's that. Hey. Wait a minute. Sorry guys, I've lost a panel. I've lost my block. Oh, there it is. It's on the floor. last panel to attach. I mean. There we go. Look, I've got a confession to make with this one. I actually ran out of gold, so you can see this one is a little bit shy of the right size. But the way I saw it, once it tucks in here, it's not really going to be noticeable because it's tucked in behind the gate fold here. So I'll just attach these to their side flaps. The sun's coming in that window a bit blotchy. Just bear with me, I'll close the blind. No, it's a front one. Here we are. Must have been crafting for a while. The sun's moved. Oh, I have to do it that way. Otherwise my snowflakes are at the bottom, bottom going up, which isn't possible. There we are. So we've got... Well, that's okay, Stephanie. That's fine. I'm quite happy to be called Donna. It's a huge compliment. So there we are. We have the side panels on. I'll put this second one on the top here and attach my sentiment. So I've used the mini dimensionals to attach that sentiment to the front panel. Just around the edge of your frame, they fit perfectly just about. They're exactly the right width for that. It's almost like it was designed that way. So pop those off. Pop that one on. So what I've actually done is I did it a little bit lower than centre because I like the top embossing quite a lot. So I didn't want to cover that over too much. So I'll do it slightly lower and hopefully relatively even. There we go. You probably put a few more on that. There you go. Oh, look at these fingers. We'll attach that one to the front panel with some Tombow. And again, try and make it as centre and as lined up with the sides as possible, just so you get that continuous line of gold. There we are. Done. Second one. So there we are. We have the snowflakes cascading down on the sides, and then a beautiful sort of framed sentiment, and again another white panel for the back, so you can write your greeting to the lucky recipient. Okay, so that's my three cards for today. I've basically done the Christmas tree with the graduating colours with Berry Burst, Highland Heather and Coastal Cabana, all done with my Stamparatus to give that graduated look. I've got the blue, silver, and blue and silver Christmas tree on the reverse gate card. We've also got the Merry Merlot and gold in the same thing, but a slightly smaller version. So that's the three I've made with the beautiful Snow is Glistening set, which is available to customers from the 1st of November. If you join my team, the Chatty Stampers, you can actually order that as part of your starter kit if you don't think you can wait till then. So just contact me if you're interested in purchasing that. As I say, it comes, well, it doesn't come with, but the Snowflake Showcase also includes this Happiness Surround set, which I hadn't seen much around. It wasn't seem to be many, people having used it on Pinterest and online. So I had a bit of go of making this one yesterday. I think that's quite nice. It's a beautiful central stamp here. It's a nice focal point. And then other stamps inside as smaller designs as you go through, with some leaves and sprigs, and some a beautiful congratulations sentiment there. So that is Blackberry Bliss is the main colour with that one. On inside, I think that's really nice as well. We've got the stamps from the set and It's Your Day. So congratulations, it's your day. But that is the Happiness Surround set, and I think that's going to be an all-year favourite, not just Christmas, because you can use that one for anything that pops up during the year. So that's really nice as well. So that one as well is also available from the 1st of November for the month of November only. So it's limited edition. If you have fallen in love with those, don't leave it too long. It's while stocks last. Also did this one this weekend, which is flipping back to the Snow is Glistening set. So this is basically the snowflakes from the set in various stamped off. It's grey granite, so grey granite, 1 stamp, 2 stamps and 3 stamps, with the beautiful large snowflake from the die set and a stitched circle with the sentiment there. So that's pretty as well. So as you can see, you can do a varied, you can do Christmas cards, you can do all year round cards, contemporary, traditional. This set with the die cuts has basically got everything covered for Christmas and all year round. So that's about it for today. Thanks for joining me, everyone. Please share my video, help me get seen out there. I will also be sharing it on YouTube, and as I say, the measurements for the cards are in my blog. So if you need to, if you'd like to know anything about Stampin' Up or join my team, or we're asking about any of my special offers at the moment, which includes the free grid paper when you buy a Stamper Artist with me online, just let me know. Thanks for dropping by. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll chat to everyone next week. Bye.